Okay, so we're fast forwarding here a little bit. What we haven't seen was me actually finishing this one up. And so the process that weren't shown, after the neck was glued on, we did some calculation and figured out where the saddle slot would be on this guitar. There's a formula for figuring that out. And then we routed that slot and made a new bone saddle for it. The intention with this one was to set the neck back the minimum angle just to get a nice playing saddle. We didn't want to go with a real high saddle because this guitar already has a little bit of bellying. We don't want to over stress it, and they tend to sound a little better and warmer with a lower saddle. And I think I achieved that pretty well. There's a nice amount so that it plays in tune and it can go up and down as needed, but not so much that we're over torquing the guitar. After that, we drilled out new holes to put the pearl dots back in, just so that they would look period correct. There is no longer screws and hardware holding it to the top because it's really not necessary, but we wanted it to look as original as possible. And then from there, it was just final setup and a little bit of real light fretwork, and this one is good to go. So one final thing I wanted to point out, which is one of the final steps in these kind of repairs, is just doing a little bit of touch-up work to try to hide the evidence that the neck's been off, basically. And in this case, things came off pretty cleanly. There's always a little bit of minor chipping along here, basically because you have to score and break the seam in the lacquer to get the neck off. So I just did a little bit of brushing lacquer, just a thin dark line, which basically helps to obscure the fact that there was a little bit of missing material there. How closely you can see in there. But it came out pretty well. I actually think it looks pretty natural. On this line here, there was a little bit of white showing, basically where a very small amount of the binding was exposed that hasn't been colored by the sun or the aging of the lacquer. So I just touched that in with a little bit of yellow as well, and just did my best to match the surrounding areas, and I think it blends in pretty well. And then the same goes for the seam where the fingerboard lays on the top. Again, that was a little bit lighter, and there was a little bit of bare wood showing. So again, we just used some tinted lacquer and ran a real thin line, which we then sanded out. And it looks pretty clean, I think. You can just see the edge of my fingerboard shim there. There's really not a great way of completely disguising that, but you actually have to look pretty hard, I think, to pick it out. So I feel okay about that. And that's it. And it sounds great. It's got a really nice voice to it. So that's it. Thus ends the project.